Good boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, what is up with everybody? What's up, Elko? What's up, everybody? I'm getting my stuff together, and we're gonna let a few people come in, and then we're going to answer some questions, some Q&A, right quick. And like I said, I normally don't talk about money on here, but I've had so many people call and ask me questions about stuff. We're just going to do a little bit of talking. So let me go get my chair and I'll be right back. Let a few people. We're gonna wait about 5 minutes. Wait about 5 minutes. Well, about 3 minutes. 3 more minutes. About 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna get to going. What's up, Yancey? How you doing, Yancey? I ain't seen you in a minute. I've got a lot of questions that's been asked to me um, about different things, different stuff. So I talked to Cars in the Cut about it, and Cars in the Cut said, I told him what I had in mind. He said, I think that's an awesome. I think he said that's an awesome idea. I talked to Mac about it, and Mac said, "Yep, I believe that's an awesome idea." And and like I say, I normally don't talk money, politics, or religion, and we're not talking money on anybody in particular. We, I'm just, I got some prices here that I just want to explain to people how fast stuff adds up, like super fast. Just in parts. We're just talking parts. So we're gonna get we're at the 4 minute mark. Well, that's good. We're at the 4 minute mark, and we're gonna go to the 5 minute mark, and then we're gonna get going, and then let everybody enjoy their Good Friday, Easter weekend, and all that good stuff. So, well, that's good. Glad you're doing well. Glad you're doing well. Because a lot of people they just don't know. They just don't know, and I don't know if uh, this right here is just to um, bring awareness and let people know. Even if you was going to do it yourself, even if you was the DIYer and you're doing it at home and you're doing it by yourself, you can still this can still happen. All right, we got 15 seconds and we're going to get to going. All right, boys and girls, let's go. And tonight's live is about how fast you can spend $50,000 in the restoration. $50,000. $50,000 is nothing. And somebody's going to say, oh man, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. It adds up quick, super fast, super fast. So, for example, we're just relating to parts, just parts. Third vendor parts. What's up, Gary? Third vendor parts. We're not talking about body work. We're not talking about labor rates. We're not talking about any of that stuff right there. We are talking parts alone. We're not talking about, well, hey, I'm a DIY guy. I'm gonna do it myself. It still costs time. It still costs money. It still costs parts. Now, I had somebody ask me today, how do you feel? And actually, Built on a Budget said this in one of his videos. And then I had somebody else ask me today, how do you feel when another person asks you how much something costs? How do you feel? Well, I feel that it's disrespectful. That's why I don't talk money, religion, or politics on this channel. And I'm not talking about money, that what goes on. I'm talking about, I don't talk about it because it's nobody's business. None, absolutely zero. You have a cell phone in your hand that is connected to the world of internet. You can look up and see how much stuff costs. Bill said that somebody asked him the other day, how much did that cost? How much did that switch suspension kit cost? That's an insult. You shouldn't ask somebody how so much cost. I said something and I told my wife what I said, and she said, I can't believe you said that. I said I did. But I can't say it on here because it's rated PG-13. So I can't say that, what I said. But to ask another person, how much do them wheels cost? How much of that cost? How much of that cost? What does it matter? What does it matter? It doesn't matter. You have a cell phone in your hand that you can Google anything on the planet to find the cost of it. Like somebody asked me, how much did that QA1 system cost? Google it. Hey, how much did that cost? Google it. Google it. Now, you got good parts and then you got, oh my God, parts. I got you on the big screen, Mac. I got you on the big screen. You got, oh my God, parts, and then you got parts. I'm going to show you two different parts on this table. Okay parts and oh my God parts. But let me tell you how fast 50,000, if you're new to the channel, maybe they want to buy them. So I'm going to go over a few parts that I got priced. I called and got prices for just to show you how fast it adds up. Somebody says, let's just use this for an example. Say somebody's got a 6.0, all right? They got a 6.0 and they have the 6.0. The engine's been built, been rebuilt, whatever, all right? Let's say that it's got whatever it's got in it, right? Now, what that is, you need a lot of other stuff. You need the throttle body, you need the throttle cable, you need the fly-by-wire, you need the intake, you need a pedal assembly, you need a Holley EFI system, you need a harmonic balancer. It just goes on and on and on. And somebody's going to say, well, what if I go to the junkyard and I get me a 6.0 donor engine? Okay. You guys that's going out in the junkyard and getting these 6.0 engines, I consider that a core. I consider that a core. I do not care if you had a running driving Chevrolet truck. I do not care if you had a running driving Tahoe. I don't care if you had a running driving van. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That is a core. That engine is not suitable to put in a vehicle. It's not suitable. That engine needs to be torn down. That engine needs to be torn down and rebuilt. Those engines from the junkyard are cores. Doesn't matter if it's running and driving. It's got 150, 175, 200,000 miles on it. It's a core. You have to go through it and build it. rebuild it. You don't have to build 1,000 horsepower engine, but you have to build that engine. You have to go through it. Everything needs to be gone through. Everything needs to be gone through. Every bit of it. Right? So when you start adding parts and you want more stuff, so if you go to the engine shop, so I called an engine shop today and I said, if I have a 6.0, a Gen 3 6.0, and I need it rebuilt, what would that cost me? What would that cost me? They said, you have to bring me the, now this ain't TKM, this is just a normal engine shop that does engine rebuilds all day, every day, twice on Tuesday, and every day that ends in Y. Right? Everything that you need, right? So he says, if you have a 5.3, a 4.8, 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0, you need to bring me the engine a long block. And what that long block means is it's just heads, the block, and the oil pan. That's it. No intake, no headers, no spark plugs, no front drive system, no nothing. Just the block with the heads and the oil pan. That's it. That is considered a long block, right? You got short block, it's just the block with no heads. Then you got the long block, you got the heads and the oil pan. That's it. And the tins on the valve cover. That's it. He says, you bring me that 5.3, that 4.8, that 5.3, or that 6.0. He says, I will go through it, check it, new bearings, hone it, line bore it, new crank bearings, turn the crank if it needs to turn, pistons, rings, gaskets. He said, my 450 horsepower kit, you'll get a cam. So you get the heads get worked or get replaced, right? So if you get the heads replaced, go through the engine, new rings, new pistons, new rod bearings, new main bearings, and new cam bearings. $5,000. $5,000, right? $5,000, right? $5,000. Okay? $5,000. Phone call. Who got a phone call? He's not saying he's not saying he's not talking about money on the strings. $5,000. Now I called today because a lot of people's been asking. $5,000 to rebuild a 5.3, a 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0. $5,000. That's a base build. That's generic parts. That's not a Brian Tooley cam. That's not a um that's not a comp cam. That's not a Lenati cam. Well, Lenati's out of business. That's not any of that stuff. That's not a TKM cam. That's just aftermarket, no name heads cam, $5,000. $5,000. Okay. Then I asked him, okay, so now you got $5,000, right? $5,000 in an engine. Well, you had to get an engine. So you had to find an engine. So most cores or anywhere from $800 to $1,000. What's up, cars? Or a truck NARS cam. That's $5,000 in a 6.0. That's just rebuilding. That is a basic budget cam. That's $189 Summit pistons. That's just budget. $5,000. Machine work, gaskets. That's just heads, block, oil pan. That's it. A short, long block. That's it. $5,000. I said, okay, that's for a 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0, right? That's it. So then I asked him how much for a 350, 5.7, 350 stock, 350 bore engine. Casting numbers 0014, which is 1969 to 1970 some block. It's either a 2-bolt main or 4-bolt main. That's it. Yeah, Mac, stop. Right? How much is that? He said, well, he said, I suggest you do a hydraulic roller conversion kit. I said, aluminum head. He said, what do you want? I said, the 425, the 450 horsepower kit. He said, well, bring me the 5.7, no intake, No starter, no headers, no spark plugs, no front drive system, no harmonic balancer, just the block. Heads, block, oil pan. That's it. Bring it to me. How much is that? $4,200. That's a set of generic, no name heads, aluminum heads, right? Goes through it. If it has to be bored, set of $200 pistons, rings, rod bearings, cam bearings, and gaskets. $4,200. Just might as well say 5 grand, another 5 grand. Okay. That's for a small block 350. The other 5 grand was for a 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0 LS Vortec truck engine. Okay. Right. So that's 5 grand. So now on the LS, you're going to need an intake. You're going to need a throttle by wire assembly. You're going to need a pedal assembly. You're going to need a computer and a wiring harness, because you can't, using that factory harness and that factory computer, they're junk. You depend all that stuff, it's junk, right? You're going to need injectors. You're going to need everything. You're going to need everything, right? Everything. So right here on this paper right here, everything that I have listed on here, front drive system, everything that you need just to have the engine complete. All right. You got the throttle body drive-by-wire assembly, $611. A Holley intake, $1,213. You need the pedal assembly, $152.95. You need a Holley EFI Terminator X Holley Terminator X Max system with the EV6 injectors and the engine controller and the transmission controller. $1,185. You're going to need a harmonic balancer, $518. Now, you're going to need a front drive system. So if you don't have the front drive system that came off of the truck, the car, whatever you got from the junkyard, all that stuff on there is junk. The water pump's junk, the alternator's junk, the power steering pump's junk. All that stuff on the front of that engine is junk. It's junk. That's why it's in the junkyard. It's junk. So either you go to the parts store and buy a new air conditioner compressor, that's $300, $500. A new power steering pump, that's $300, $400. A water pump, that's a couple $100. Harmonic balancer, that's a couple $100. You got to buy all that stuff. Now you got to get all the brackets. Now you got to know whatever you took it out of, you got to know those brackets are specific to whatever you took it out of. So you have to be sure, what did I get that out of? A 2008, a 2009, a 2012, a 2003? What did I get that out of? Because you're going to have to order the components for that bracket assembly that you took off of that junkyard engine. Okay. Let's say you didn't get that. Let's say you just bought a core, right? That's all you bought, right? All right. So if you need a Holley, makes a Holley mid mount system, right? Which you get everything on the front of the engine, everything. And it's all based off of LT4 stuff, right? So you can get the water pump, the alternator, you can get all that stuff at the parts store, but you get it from Holley and it's a mid mount system. Everything bolts to the water pump. So you get the alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor, and the AC compressor, the water pump, the power steering pump, and there was one other thing you get. Power steering pump, alternator, AC, water pump. Yep, that's it. You got all that components on the front, right? That kit right there, you can get it in black, or you can get it in anodized. You can get it black, or you can get it aluminum. That's $3,000. Okay. So now you up to 611, 1200, 150, 1800, 518. Now you're going to add $3,000 for that. Now, that is just for that. Now let's say you want to go crazy and you want a DX1 Pro Charger from Pro Charger. Okay. Okay, you get a DX1 Pro Charger kit. It comes with a front drive system. Comes with everything. Water pump, power steering pump, all that stuff. It's one unit, and the intercooler pipe and all that stuff to build the DX1 Pro Charger on the front. That kit's $10,200. So now your total is $14,596. Then the tax is 7%. That's $1,021.72. That's $15,617, and you ain't even touched the engine. Now you get somebody to build the engine for $5,000. That is a low budget engine. Well, that engine can't handle the boost. You can't. What's up, SS? What's up, cars? The engine can't handle the boost. So you're going to tell the engine builder, hey, look, I'm going to put boost on this. Oh, then the whole game has changed. We went from a flip flop barbecue party to a leather shoe party, suited and booted. So now you're going to have to build the engine, the bottom end, and the heads and the cam to handle the Pro Charger, the Supercharger, the turbo. So the price just went up. So now the engine build, you can't use those generic no-name parts. You're going to have to upgrade. So now your LS build to handle all that power that you're putting to it is now $10, $15, $20,000. So that's that. So just let, and if you didn't want to run the Pro Charger, you're still going to spend $15,000, and you ain't even touched the DX1 Pro Charger. All right. Now, somebody said transmission. Okay. Now you want to talk about transmissions. All right. So if you're running an LS, with an LS, you can run a 700R, you can run a turbo 400, you can run a turbo 350, you can run a 4L60, a 4L65, a 4L85, a 460, 485. You can even run a 6L80 behind it. Now you got to find a transmission. All right. If you don't have a transmission, you got to find one. So if you buy one on Marketplace or anything like that, you're going to spend $800 to $1,500 on a transmission. That's a core. That is a core. If you buy anything used from somebody, I don't care if it was running or driving, it's still a core. It's still a core. Yes, Mike, Matt, it's still a core. It needs to be rebuilt. Right? So let's say you want to run a 700R behind a 60, a 4.8, or a 5.3. Okay, you got to find a 700R. Okay, I found one today. Guy wanted $1,000 for a 700R. Says it was running and good when I took it out, but it probably needs to be gone through. Okay, fine. If it needs to be gone through, it needs to be gone through. So, with that being said, you got $1,000 in a core. Now you got to take that 700R to the transmission shop and have it rebuilt. So I called my transmission guy and I asked him, I said, hey, I got a 700R. Don't know the condition of the 700R. I was told it was running and driving when it was took out. Everybody heard that. I need you to go through it and I need you to fix everything. I need you to change it from a three gear set to a 5-gear set. I need you to put Sun gears in it. I need you to put a Corvette servo in it. I need you to put a 200 PSI ball valve in it so it maintains 200 PSI on the detent cable. So if you don't get the detent cable 100% right, it doesn't really matter. And I need you to get me a torque converter. He said, okay, what kind of torque converter you want? So they sell just regular budget torque converters. They go from 1500 RPM to 1800 RPM, from 1800 RPM to 2200 RPM, and then from 2200 RPM to 2600 RPM. Which torque converter you need? Well, your torque converter is based on your camshaft and your gear ratio and your tire size. All that stuff goes together. Well, okay, let me look at my cam specs. It says I need a 22 to 25 stall. Okay, not a problem. I can get that for you. How much is it? $2,800. You drop off a good transmission, a good core that you just paid $1,000 for. You drop it off. They take it apart, take everything in it, throw it in the dumpster, and then they rebuild it for $2,800. So now you got $3,800. Just might as well round it up to 200. You're going to have to buy $200 in daggone transmission fluid, right? That's $3,000 in a transmission. Okay. All right. Let's say you got a 12 bolt rear end and you want to make it from one wheel peel to a double 11. You want to make it run 2 week, double 11, right? Double 11, right? Right? So I called the shop today and asked them, I said, hey, I got a 12-bolt rear end, right? 12-bolt rear end. I need you to go through it. I need you to rebuild it. I'd like for you to use Yukon gears set or Detroit. He said, we use both. Want you to do a 373 posi unit, new bearings on the outside, check the axles, make sure. I said, let's just say for good faith, the axles are not bent or damaged and we don't have to replace them. He said, okay. Need new bearings on the axles. Need the C-clip eliminator because GM has that C-clip, and if that nipple breaks, then the axles slide out. So you want to do a C-clip eliminator kit, right? So we go from the outside in, new bearings. Let's just say the axles are good for right now. The axles are good. New bearings on the outside, a new 373 posi unit from Yukon, a new pinion seal, new pinion bearing, and all that stuff good to go. $2,500 to $2,800. That's for parts and labor out the door. Worst case, okay. Worst case scenario, let's say the axles are bad. Well, if the axles are bad and they're 28 spline axles, then you want to upgrade to a 30, 31, 32, whatever you want to upgrade. That's the time to upgrade. Okay, let's say the axles are bad. He said, so let's say the axles are bad. You need to replace them. If one axle's bad, you shouldn't replace one axle with a new one and leave the other one old. You need to replace them in pairs. If we replace the axles, that's an additional $700. So now we went from $2,800, $25 to $2,800 for the rear end with no axles. Now we just added, let's just say 3,000. Now we add another $700 on the other axles. You're looking at $3,700 out the door, right? Out the door. What's up for the rear end? So you got $4,000 for the transmission or $3,400 for the transmission, plus or minus. And now you got, you know, the rear end. So there's another three, right? So you got $2,800 in the axles. So that's 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. There's 35. So now you up to almost $7,000 in a rear end and a transmission, right? And you up to $5,000 for a small block with no intake, no carburetor, no distributor, no headers, no spark plugs, no wire, no spark plug wires, none of that stuff. So 5, 10, 15, there's 15,000 right there. So now you're at 15,000 with a small block, and you're at 15,000 with a 6.0 or a 5.3 or a 4.8 just in parts to get the 6.0 to run, plus another 5 to have it rebuilt. So that's $20,000 right there. And people's going to make videos and they're going to make memes and they're going to come back. They're going to come back and say, well, I got my LS and I done an LS swap and I done this and I done this with a junkyard motor and I done this and I done that. Yeah, you sure did. And I drive it every day. I do this. You sure did. But you still running on a 200,000 mile engine. You still running on a $200,000 or 200,000 mile transmission. You still doing it. You still doing it. See, there's a difference between me and everybody else. Everybody else, now I'm not saying everybody else are influencers. They out there chasing whatever the topic, whatever the narrative is to stay relevant in the in the algorithm. Whatever's going on, they follow suit. And Willie Rebuild, forgive me, because city trends. Me and Willie talked the other day for about 2 hours on the phone. City trends. He said, JG, baby, I didn't know you knew what city trends meant. I do know what city trends mean. That's what that is. Everybody's following that suit, and that's okay. I'm not an influencer. I am a business owner. I am a shop owner. And I am trying to tell you, stop watching these YouTubers that are influencers to get clicks, likes, shares, and subscribers, and telling you one thing. And then in your mind, Willie was just talking about this the other day. And in your mind, you think you can go to a shop and get a LS swap for $3,000, $4,000. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Stop believing in these YouTubers, TikTokers, and Facebookers that are influencers, considered themselves influencers, and they're changing their narrative every day. It's like they get up in the morning and see what the topic is, and then that's the topic that they put out there to get clicks, likes, shares, and reviews and all that stuff. Hey, I'm on here for clicks, likes, reviews, and watches and stuff like that, and subscribers. I'm not going to disagree with that. I am, but I'm not an influencer. I don't see myself as an influencer. What I'm doing is I'm telling you in the real world, this shit that people are telling you is a lie, is a damn lie, is a damn lie. I can spend $50,000 in parts and be on the phone for an hour. Okay, let's go back to transmissions. Let's don't get off topic. Let's get on to transmissions. Let's say you don't have a transmission and you want to order a transmission. You go to the parts store, right? You go to the parts store. You want a transmission, a 4L80, a 4L60. You order a remanufactured transmission from the, it's going to cost you $4,000, $3,000 to $4,000 plus a core, meaning you're going to have to give them your old transmission or go find one. And if you don't, your core is going to be $800. So when you go to the junkyard and you buy a junkyard transmission, they're going to sell it to you as a core. They sell it to you as a core because there's no guarantee that it will run. And then the next thing out of your mouth says, well, did that truck run? Yeah, it ran when it came in. Okay, well, I'm going to put it in my car. I'm going to put it in my truck. Yeah, but we're selling you as a core. See, when they say that key word core, that relieves them from all liability that transmission is not usable. It's a core. It's recycled. It's recycled. Right? It's recycled. Okay, if you go to the auto parts store and order a transmission, O'Reilly's, Advance, Napa, wherever, Jasper's transmissions, Jasper's engines, if you order them and you don't have a core, you have to produce a core, or guess what? They add $800 or whatever their core fee is on top of that transmission. Why do they do that? Because they call junkyards and they order cores. They get the core, they dump the core's guts out, they take all the components out, and then they rebuild it and they sell it to you as a remanufactured transmission. That's what they do. That's their business. That's what they do for a living. Now, let's say you don't want a transmission from AutoZone or Advance or whatever. You're still going to need a controller. You're still going to, that computer for LSs is still going to have to tell that transmission what to do. So when you go to AutoZone to order a transmission for your LS swap car, truck, whatever you got, you have to order it whatever it came out of, because the transmission control module, the TCM, is what transmission control module is what tells the transmission, hey, I need you to shift here, here, and here, because the engine is telling me we're here, here, and here. You can't just go in there and say, I need a 2008 transmission. It don't work like that. Let's say you don't want to deal with any box stores. You want to call Monster Transmissions, right? I'm going to catch up on the chats here in a minute. Let's say I'll check up on the chats in a minute. I don't want to get sidetracked. Let's say you don't want to buy a transmission from one of them stores. You want to buy one from a reputable place. Okay. Let's say Monster. And I know this because I called them last week. You call Monster Transmission and you say, hey, look, I need a 4L85E transmission. What year model? And then you tell them, I need one for a third gen. I need one for a Gen 3 LS, 4L85. Okay. They asked you on the phone, is this street and strip or is this drag racing, off roading? No, this is street and strip. Okay. Do you have a core? I do not. $800 right on the top. $800 right on the top because you don't have a core. Then they will sell you a transmission, a 4L85 transmission, right? For $3,800. You get three choices of torque converters, right? They're torque converters. You get, I think it's 18 to 2200 RPMs, 2200 RPMs, and it goes up. You get three options with that package. If you need an additional torque converter, that's an upcharge. Upcharge. So they, whatever this 2000 stall is, and you don't want this stall, and you want this stall, they say, okay, this one's $300, this one's $800. You have to pay an additional $500 to get this one and not get this one. Okay. Then you get a 3-year warranty. You get a 3-year warranty with it as long as you're not drag racing or anything with it. Right? Anything. Then you got tax and tags and and transfer. You got shipping. So the bottom dollar for a 4L85 transmission from Monster with a torque converter that they offer, one of the threes that they offer, was $4,800. Just might as well add another $200 for transmission fluid. That's $5,000 for a transmission from Monster. $5,000. So you can easily spend $50,000 in parts and not even blink an eye. Not even blink an eye. Not even blink an eye. So when people that don't understand, and I don't mean this disrespectful, people are oblivious. I think they just don't understand, or I just don't know. I don't know. And I've asked people and they go, well, it shouldn't cost. Here's what they say. Well, it shouldn't cost that much. Why don't you, well, how much do you think it's going to cost? Well, I don't think it should cost more than $5,000-$6,000. Okay. And what information did you grab from what universe to come up to that scenario that it's only supposed to cost $5,000? Well, I just don't think it should cost more than $5,000. Why? Just because you feel like it shouldn't cost $5,000? All right. Now you're going to say, "Oh, you're talking about." You're probably going to say this. People in the chat is watching this, sitting back on your couch, watching this, whatever. And you're probably thinking, and the ones in the bushes watching, going, "Oh, well, we're not building race cars, and we're not building SEMA cars, and we're not building this. I got a daily driver." Okay, cool. I got something for you too. Daily drivers. Daily drivers. 1972 C10 step side. We're going to talk about it. So it needed front brakes. Okay. Needed front brakes. Needed rotors. Needed rotors. Needed inner and outer bearings. Needed the seals. Needed the axle grease. Needed the rubber hoses. Needed the calipers. And needed the pads. That's on your daily driver, right? That's on your daily driver. Rotors. Inner and outer bearings. The seals. The rubber hoses. The calipers for both sides. So you got two calipers, a set of brakes, two hoses, four bearings, two seals, two rotors. From the parts store at AutoZone for your daily driver, your 1972 C10 pickup truck. $757 just in parts. $757 just in parts. I ain't even put them on yet. So just might as well say 750, right? So you got $750 for the front. For the front. That's just a little rubber hose, not the full brake lines. That's just the front ones, right? Now let's roll our happy ass down to the back. You got drum brakes on the back, right? Drum brakes on the back. What's up, Southern? Damn, Southern, I'm surprised you graced me with your presence. So let's roll on to the back to a 72 C10 with drum brakes. Now, who in their right mind? I'm going to show you on the table. I got two examples on the table right here behind me. So we roll to the back to the 12 bolt on a 1972 C10, right? 1972 C10 for drum brakes on the back. Who in their right mind would want to rebuild drum brakes? I don't know. I don't know. So I did. I went to the parts store and I had them to pull up everything in the drum to rebuild the drum brakes. Everything. The springs, the wheel cylinders, the shoes. They're called shoes on the back, not pads. Shoes, the springs, the clips, the wheel cylinders, and the drum, and everything. Everything to rebuild the drum brakes on the back of a 1972 C10. $750. $750. Sounds familiar, right? So it's $750 for the front, just in parts. $750 for the back, just in parts. Well, $750 and $750 is $1,500 just on your old school 1972 C10 pick 'em up truck. $1,500 in brakes. Now, you ain't even put them on. You ain't even bought brake fluid, right? You ain't even bought brake fluid. So, that's right, Southern. So, what did I do? I called Switch Suspension. Because I do a lot of business with them, right? Right? I said, I need a disc brake conversion for a 12 bolt with a GM style external Mercy brake caliper. I'm going to show y'all this type of caliper loaded with shoes. Loaded with pads, with the hoses and the Mercy brake cable. So I got two calipers. I got the Mercy brake cable. I got the two rubber hoses, and I got the brackets and the rotors for $698. So for $700, I got a disc brake conversion to put disc brakes on a 12 bolt other than the drums. I'm still at $1,500, but instead of having them crazy ass drum brakes on the back, now I have disc brakes on the back for a 12 bolt for a 1972 C10. This is a daily driver now. This is just a regular old school, because somebody's probably going to say, oh, you talking about building SEMA build and everybody ain't got JG pockets. Set your Play-Doh ass eating down. Set your ass down. That's $1,500. That's $1,500 just in brakes. And you ain't even put them on. Right? Some has the right stuff conversion for 12 bolt 49. Yeah, but it was out of stock, Southern Square Body. It said it was out of stock until further notice. So you got to go. You got to go. You got to get it where you can get it from. So that I'm going to show y'all. Y'all stick around. I'm going to show you two different types of parts and two different types of parties. You either flip flop barbecue chicken wing damn cheeseburger party, or you damn leather loafers and Louis Vuitton. Two different things. So don't say, well, it's just an old school, whatever, blah, 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 whatever. $50,000 is nothing. Is nothing. Somebody's like, well, damn, let me hold 50K. $50,000 in parts is nothing. So when people, oh yeah, little shop, they good too. So when people, yeah, 50K ain't shit. When people ask another man how much he spent on something, this is why I don't never talk about money and money and parts or nothing on live. But I've had so many people ask me questions. Cars and Nathan and Mac, we all talked about this, and they said this would be a good live to let people know. right? Good people let people understand. Yeah, then you got to get the bolts off, right? You got to do all it. So I'm going to show you, boys and girls. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you two different types of party. Now, with that being said, it's all depends on what the person wants, right? It all depends on what the person wants. It depends on what the client wants. It depends. Now, you can still spend this kind of money and still work on your own stuff. You can still spend this kind of money and work on your own stuff. So I'm going to show you this kit right here that I'm talking about, right? This right here is from this right here is from Switch Suspension, right? You got two calipers, right? You got here's the bracket, the hardware. You got two calipers that's loaded with pads. Here is your emergency brake cable. Here's another emergency brake cable. Here is your hoses. Here's your hoses, right? Here's your rotor, right? And here's your rotor. This right here, right? This right here, this kit right here was $700. Once it got here, tax, tags, shipped, everything. Taxes, they charge North Carolina sales tax, they charge freight, shipping. This whole kit right here was right at 700 bucks once you get down to the brass tacks, right? This kit right here, 700 bucks, right? Now, let me show you something else. Hey, Southern Square Body, I hope that your ass is laying down because I'm fixing to show you something that's going to get your damn britches wet. Now, if you want to go to big boy shit and you want to be like, hey, look, I don't give a rat's ass. Let me show you this right here. This right here, this right here, boys and girls, is big boy shit. Aerospace components, 4-piston calipers. This caliper weighs 2 pounds. Right here. This right here is brake stuff too, right? Look here. 3-piece rotors, right? Here's the 3-piece rotors, right? These are wheelwood rotors. You got the aerospace hub, you got the spacers, and you got the aluminum calipers, right? Now here's the booster that come with it. Now, these right here, these right here, these right here, if you want to know how much this stuff is, look it up. Aerospace components, 4P Elite, right? And here's all the hardware, right? This right here, this right here, oh, I'm sure. Yeah. This right here, this stuff right here is going on the F100. This is going on this, right? This right here, that's $700. That's $350 per side from the part store. This is a 72C10 right here. This is what I was telling you. Rotors and all that stuff, right? That right there. Okay. And upper and lower ball joints. This right here is for this F100 pickup truck. This is aerospace, right? Now, here's the rear end. The rear end's got the same thing. Aerospace components, 3-piece rotors, 373 gears, 33 spline axles, posi unit, right? This right here, this is brakes. Them right there, them are drums. They're coming off. You got flip flop barbecue cheeseburger. You got Louis Vuitton. Two different units, two different styles. This is a 6-7 drop kit. This is a 6-7 drop kit. This right here is a stock 1972 C10. This used to be a stock 1970 F100. So I know that third member was built in North Carolina. How do you know this third member was built in North Carolina? How do you know that? This right here. So when you tell me, oh, it costs too much, you have no idea. You are oblivious to it, right? You are oblivious to it. This is a 5.7 drop. This is a 6.7 drop. That's a 6.7 drop. This right here, this switch suspension kit come from Switch. This lowering kit right here come from Switch. It was like $1,500 or $1,600 for a 6.7 drop kit. You know how much QA1 stuff is? Look it up. I ain't even gonna say it. Look it up and see how much it is. So, with that being said, boys and girls, that's the difference. This is how it adds up super quick. This is still $700. This right here, these things right here are like $300 a piece. These calipers are like $300 a piece, depending on what day of the week you get them. I mean, that's $600 in two calipers. So, what I'm telling you, so let me catch up on. Hold on a second. Come on, guy. I'm in them circles too. Hold on a second. Um, what's up, Nelson? What's up, Gary? What's up, Assassin? What's up, Flipper? What's up, Mustang? What's up, Michael? Let's see if I missed anybody. What's up, Big Fish? So, um, yeah. With that being said, boys and girls, it doesn't take long to spend $50,000 in parts. It doesn't take long at all. So, I mean, like I said, I say it. Galloway's 4-wheel drive in New London, they quoted me $2,500 to $2,800 to build a 12 bolt. I called and asked because I wanted to get some numbers for you guys tonight. On what's up, SWC? What's up, John? I wanted to get you some numbers for you guys. So they said anywhere from $2,500 to $2,800 to build a 12 bolt. If you don't have to replace the axles. If you replace the axles, they're $600 and some dollars, whatever. So, and then you got the transmission shop that's going to charge anywhere from $2,500 to $2,800 to rebuild a 700R. Then you got the engine shop that's just going to rebuild a 5.7 350. They're going to charge you $5,000. So you got $5,000 in the engine rebuild for a 5.7 350. You got $3,000 in a transmission, and you got $3,000 in a rear, $3,000 in a rear end. All right. 2,500 to 2,800 to put a 373 posi unit, new bearings, new pinion bearings, and new seals. That's on stock axles. If the axles had to be replaced, it's $650 for the axles plus that. So their price to build a 12 bolt is $2,500 to $2,800 without replacing the axles. Oh yeah, you too cheap, man. But that's all right. That's all right. We see who you sponsored by. We see who you sponsored by, Square Body. We see it. Yeah, we see who you sponsored by. Yeah, yeah. $2,500 to $2,800 to do a 12 bolt. 373 gears with a Detroit rocker and all that. So, yep. 2,500 to $2,800 to build a 700R. $5,000 to build a 5.7 350. I'll show you. I'll show you right here. I called and asked for the guy. The guy told me to call and asked. Look, see that? See this right here? See this 5.7? This 5.7 is a O0014 block. I called today for the guy. The guy asked me to call the engine shop. I called them. They said to rebuild this engine, aluminum heads, a stage 2 cam, take the intake, take the front drive system off. They said just bring the block and the heads and the valve covers and the oil pan. Take everything else off. They said $5,000 to rebuild the engine, new bearings, new pistons, new rings, new camshaft, and do a 5.7, do a roller, hydraulic roller cam and aluminum heads, 5 grand. Ain't nobody timed you out, Elko. Oh, come on, square body. You can't be telling us. Well, man, I tell you what, you better go check the old interweb, baby, because somebody told me the other day that you sponsored somebody. You got sponsors out there. You sponsor them because they sure are sharing your stuff. Said, yeah, they're gonna give you gonna give 10%. Hey, Southern Square Body. So I've not officially seen the video, but can I claim I seen the video and can I get 10% off a bill? So can I get 10% off? Can I get 10% off? Um, yeah. So, but yeah, yeah. What's up, John? Yeah, Southern Square Body. So yeah, and then yeah, this rear end right here, I call it an ass. This 12 bolt right here, this 12 bolt rear end right here. They probably 25 to $2,800 to rebuild this rear end. Yep, sure did. And then the transmission shop, they said 25 to $2,800 to rebuild a 700R. And then the engine shop said 45 to $5,000 to rebuild this 5.7 and clean it up and put a hydraulic roller stage 2 cam in it. They said they don't use comp cams because comps is junk. They told me they had a choice. They'd let me know, and then they put aluminum heads. And I said, "What aluminum heads?" And they said, 64cc chamber heads, 215cc intake runners. And I said, "Oh, you must be using them Summit heads." And the guy told me, he says, "Yeah, I buy my heads exactly the same place where Summit buys their heads, but they don't have Summit engraved on them." So if that's the case, Summit's heads for 64cc chamber heads, 215cc runners, for aluminum heads from Summit is $1,400 a set. So right there, $1,400 in a set of aluminum heads. And then the guy says to put cam bearings, rod bearings, main bearings, and go through it. If it need to be honed out or whatever, hone it out. It said 5 grand. So, with that being said, yeah, it doesn't take long to spin. Oh yeah, let's talk about a wiring harness. Look, let's talk about a wiring harness. See this wiring harness right here? I called American Wiring Harness and asked them give me a price on a wiring harness for a 1972 C10. $1,300, $1,400 for a wiring harness. So you need a wiring harness. That's $1,400 right there on top of that. See, Elko? Yeah, 215. Yeah, 215cc. Yeah, I don't. It's supposed to be the 425, the 500 horsepower kit. That's how they do it. They said, "What do you want?" And the client said that guy that owns that 5.7 said he wants about 425 to 450 horsepower. So when I called the engine shop, not TKM, these are just run of the mill daily engine shops. They said our 425 to 450 horsepower kit for a 5.7 350 is 5 grand. It's 5 grand. So when they told me they was running 64cc chamber heads with 215cc runners, that's a Summit head, and you can look them up on Summit. Summit's got like a Pro X, like a Pro X. I think Pro X's are like $1,300 a set, so they're like $700 a head. And then they got the upgraded version that has the springs in it for 650 lift and stuff like that. Um, Head's a little big for that 400. What 400? Where'd you see a 400, Assassin? Where'd you see a 400? That's a 5.7 350. That's a 5.7 350. Cast the number 0014. Oh, 400. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm just telling you what they said, man. I'm just telling you what they said. I just called and asked, and they said that they're 425 to 450 horsepower kits. They use 64 cc chamber heads, 215 cc runners. And I said, well, that I'm with you too, because that carburetor that he has is a 650 Edelbrock, which is brand new, but it's been sitting on that joker for 20 years. I said, well, a 185 cc runner would probably be better, or even a 175, 185. And they said, well, we don't consider the 185s in our 425 kits. The 215s are in our 425 kits. I think he said his 185 cc's or more in their 350 range engines, or 350 horsepower engine. Most of these people out here, like the guy that owns that engine, he said, I want to make 500 horsepower. No disrespect to him, but most people is not even, no, most people don't even know what 500 horsepower feels like. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, I know, Stain, right? Most people don't even know what 500 horsepower feels like. I mean, a stock 6.0 don't make but 330 horsepower plus or minus to the crank. And these guys has got them out here in these G bodies and trucks, and they think they snatching the world up. Yeah, I mean, a stock 6.0 with a cast block out of these trucks, they don't make but like 330 horsepower soaking wet. And then everybody's putting them in these G bodies and stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I'm making 500 horsepower." No hell you ain't. No hell you ain't. No hell you ain't. No hell you ain't. You ain't making 500 horsepower. You ain't doing it. Not with no stock heads. Even if you put a damn BTR cam in it. Oh, that's right, Stain. You right, Stain. Yeah, they talking about. And there's a bunch of them on here, and a bunch of you follow the people that I'm talking about, and I'm talking about everybody. If the damn shoe laces, if the shoe fits, lace it up. You know, I got 500 horsepower. You ain't got 500 horsepower with a $189 piston kit from Summit. You ain't got it. You ain't got it. You wouldn't know what 500 horsepower was if it smacked you in the face. You wouldn't know what it was. You wouldn't even know what it felt like. Oh, yes, I remember. No, hell, you won't. No, hell, you won't. Yeah, 355. My my 3.5 EcoBook. Yeah, yeah. They don't even know. And I'm not throwing shade to nobody. I'm just saying you can have a flip flop barbecue cheeseburger event, or you can have a Louis Vuitton, like Willie Rebuild says, and Prada. You can have two different events. It's like these brakes. We got $700 brakes, and we got $4,000 worth of brakes. They're still brakes, but it just depends on what party you want to go at. $50,000 is nothing on a restoration build on parts. Absolutely nothing. I mean, TKM's engine builds start at $13,000. They start at $13,000. 13,000. That's where they start at. 13.5. Like if you take a 6.0 up there and drop it off, and you just want the basic going through the LS3 style heads and whatever, you know, you're gonna spend 15 grand. You're gonna spend 15 grand. 3/4 bump stick. Oh Lord, hey John Buchanan, we got somebody in here. 3/4 race cam. 3/4 race cam. 3/4 bump stick claimer pop ups. 041 to 500. Build a 69 F460 and tell me how much you spend. I sent you. I'm shooting for the lowest. Yeah. So, and again, if somebody's sitting back at their mama's house eating Cheetos and their white socks and their stained tighty whities, and you thinking JG's throwing shade at you, I'm not throwing shade at you. I'm not. Whatever you can afford, that's it. That's it. But don't be concerned what somebody else is spending. So when you ask somebody how much do you spend for that, that's disrespectful. You got a cell phone in your hand, you can Google anything you want to Google and find how much something costs. I'm just giving you random numbers of stuff that I called because I wanted to do this live and I talked to Cars about it. I talked to Nathan Price about it. I talked to Mac about it. And all of them said, yeah, you need to do this live. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and let's get those numbers up. Because I know once we hit 10,000, it's going to break the algorithm on a lot of stuff. So, like I said, which party can you attend? That's right, Mac. Look, that is Mac. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Both of those builds out there on that floor, both those builds, that 1972 C10 and that 1970 F100. I respect both of them. Absolutely 100%. I respect both of them. I respect the money that the 1972 C10 guys spent, and I respect the guy the 19 F100 has spent. I respect both of them. They're two different parties. But I give both vehicles 110%. 110%. The 72 C10, I give 110%. I give them the same quality of work, the same quality to attention to detail. I give them the same quality of detail, every one of it. The F100, absolutely the same detail on both of them. I don't shortchange one and versus the other one. One person is spending this money, this person is spending this money. Both of them. It's just like the guy with a 72 C10. I said, you need to replace all your brake lines, all your fuel lines, all of them. You think so? Absolutely. They've been they've been open to the elements since 1996. Right? They've been open since 1996, right? Um, 1996. You need to replace the fuel lines. You need to replace the brake lines. Brake fluid is isobaric. I think that's the word. Is that the word? Isobaric? Isoabsorbent. Is it isobaric or isoabsorbent? Brake fluid absorbs moisture. So brake fluid absorbs moisture, condensation. That's why I bet you didn't know this. You need to replace your brake fluid every 5 years in your vehicle. You need to take it to a shop and you need to have them do a dialysis machine on your brake fluid and recycle your brake fluid out with fresh brake fluid. Because the brake fluid breaks down over time, absorbs moisture, and therefore it deteriorates the inside of your brake lines. Fuel lines too. That's right. That's right. That's why I said, Mac, they need to replace the fuel lines and the brake lines. It's junk. And then they said, well, can't you flush them out? And I'm like, no, I'm not flushing them out. Well, how much are the brake lines? $300-400. If you go with stainless, if you go with aluminum, you go with nickel, you go with OEM. If you go with steel, they're cheaper. You can go with nickel. You can go with aluminum. You can go with stainless. You can go with titanium. Isobaric, you have to flush the fluid as it gets dark. Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. Yeah. So all that stuff is preventive maintenance. I mean, even on your daily driver right now, whatever you're driving, 2008, 2009, 2015, 2020, whatever vehicle you're driving, ask yourself, when's the last time you had the brake fluid flushed? Stainless? Yeah, thank you, Rock Fan. You got stainless. When's the last time you had your radiator fluid flushed? When's the last time you had your transmission fluid flushed? A lot of these vehicles have non-serviceable transmissions. But that still doesn't matter. That still doesn't mean you can't go to the dealership, have them hook it up to the dialysis machine and recycle and vacuum out and change out your transmission fluid and your vehicle. My OBS has been miles on fire. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, just rebuilt my 2010 10 speed today. Oh, I bet. What's up, Larry? Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet so. Now that I flush my brake fluid every other pad. Well, how many miles is in between those pad changes, Nathan? I need to do the one on the black truck. All right, when's the last time you flushed out your radiator system? You know, when's the last time you done that? Get that little tester at AutoZone and check the antifreeze and check the yeah, that's right, Assassin. It gets expensive. And you know what else is expensive? When people do shortcuts and you have to do it 2 or 3 times over. That's where it gets like super expensive because you got to do it over. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been talking to cars a lot about electrical, and I've done electrical, and I'm gonna go on and say it. That '63 Impala, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. I'm still waiting on the AC system. I'm still waiting on Chance. Chance, I'm still waiting on you. Chance, I'm still waiting on you to do the AC system. Hey, Chance, I'm still waiting on you. I'm not happy with the electrical. The electrical, it was it was an aftermarket wiring harness. People went in there and they split it, and then I spent 3 or 4 days on it, and I didn't even charge the client the 3 or 4 days that I worked on it. And I got proof. I texted him. I said, "Man, I can't even charge you for these 3 days. I can't justify it." So I didn't charge him for it. So what I should have done was rip the wiring harness out, throw it down the damn hill in the dumpster, and bought a new one. So I'm going to kind of redeem myself on the F100. I'm going to show you boys and girls how to do a wiring harness the right way. The right way. Suck up your pride, suck up your ego, and say, hey, look, and I'm going to tell you who's helped me with this. I'm going to tell you who's helped me with this. Willie Rebuild, me watching Willie Rebuild in the background. Like I said, Willie called me day before yesterday, and we talked for like 2 hours on the phone about everything. And I told him what I thought, and I appreciate him. He has helped me a lot by watching him. I tell you somebody else, Nathan Price. Nathan Price has helped me. Metal Art Customs helped me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on, Larry. Hold on, Larry. Don't go nowhere. Uh, Mac Metal Art Customs helped me mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Cars has helped me mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Nathan Price has helped me mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually. And the reason why I say that out loud and out blast, because I talk to those 4 individuals all day, all day. Text messages back and forth. And we don't talk about nobody about what nothing. We don't bash nobody. We don't belittle nobody. We talk about how to do better today and strive to be better tomorrow and try to be better. And those guys right there are a very uh those guys are a very valuable asset to have at your resources on asking, hey, I I want to do better. I want to do better. I want to show how I can really do something on this F100 I got, this 1970 F100. I really want to show how wiring should be able to be done. Since cars is in the networking and the data stream world, he's exposed to connectors and connections and connector ends that we normally wouldn't see because we don't see that type of work on a daily basis. Cars is exposed to that on a daily basis. Anywhere from 22 gauge wire all the way up to 1 alt wire. He's exposed to that. So, hey, cars, I need to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this. I want to get here from here. How do I do that to make it modular and make it nicer? Cars sends me a list of vendors that he uses with these components. And I'm like, holy shit, Batman. So what did I do? I shared that same list with Mac. I shared that same list with Nathan. Now they're not cheap. They're $30, $40 for some of these connectors. Some of them are $70, but it makes it worth it in the end. So, oh yeah. All right. So Lonnie, you talking about F100s? So here's the F100. Lonnie, you still in here? Oh yeah. Yeah, don't forget about junkyard therapy. Hey John, I'm coming to see you tomorrow, John. John, I'll see you tomorrow. Lonnie Hazelwood, 8364. You still in the building? Because if you're still in the building, I'm gonna show you something. If you ain't in the building, um, hey, that's what's up, daggone. Mike Myers, 71 Corvette, 427 small block 12. Yeah, okay. That's cool, dude. All right, right here. This is 1970 F100 pickup truck. All QA1, all QA1 suspension, all QA1 cradle, all QA1 engine mounts, uh, all QA1 rear suspension, QA1 this, QA1 that. Here's the 9-inch. Just got it back. Got aerospace, put aerospace components on it. Um, all that. Has 373 gears in it. Uh, all that and stuff like that. Um, I'll show you the front rotors. I'll show you the front rotors. Right here's the front rotors, aerospace spindles, aluminum calipers, three-piece rotors. That's all that for the F100. All this stuff right here, this disc brake conversion, this right here is for the 72 C10, which is right here. I gotta take the trash out. This chassis right here has got a 6.7 drop. That chassis has got a 6.7 drop. This is all switch suspension. That's all QA1 suspension. It's got a disc brakes on the front with drop spindles. It's got switch suspension in the back. Gonna do these to a disc brake conversion. Gonna build this rear end and put 373 gears in it and all that stuff. All this stuff right here, y'all boys and girls didn't see all this. Here's all the panels for the 61 Ford box truck. So that's that. But yeah, that's just a little bit of tidbit information on that, boys and girls. Three-piece suit for the hey, that it'll be like that. Hey, Yancey, it'll be like that sometime. Yeah, it'll be like that sometime. What's up, bald nightmare? I'm working on a 95 Land Rover Discovery. Hey, 247. I tell you who you need to talk to. North Carolina here. Do you have a channel? Just found you. Do you like an 82 Cutlass Supreme? Yeah, there's an 84 Cutlass Supreme here. There's an 84 Cutlass here. Hey, Caden Hall 247. You need to follow Cars in the Cut. He's the damn import guru. He's the import guru. He's the import guru. Yeah, right there. I'm gonna pin it right there. I'm gonna pin him. I'm gonna pin him right there. Uh, right there, dude. I swear I know you in real life. Um, International Harvester Farmer 81. So I take it you was probably born in 81. Can we see the Cutlass? Uh, yeah, the Cutlass is down the hill. It's down the hill. 84 Cutlass. Yeah. So this whole I didn't want to get too sidetracked in case somebody wanted to come back and watch it. So this whole thing was to talk about, what's up, JG? Talk about to spend $50,000 in parts is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing. I mean, you think about it, let's just recap it today for the 72 C10. They have the rear end, the 12-bolt rear end done. If we don't have to replace the axles, it's $2,500 to $2,800. They have it a 700R rebuilt with a choice of 3 torque converters. It's $2,500 to $2,800. Just say $3,000 for the rear end, $3,000 for the transmission. That's $6,000. The 5.7, the 355.7, the engine shop quoted $4,800 to $5,000 to build the engine. That's aluminum heads, intake, machine work, pistons, rings, rod bearings, main bearings, cam bearings, oil pump. That's it. No intake, no distributor, nothing. $5,000. So you got $3,000 for the rear end, $3,000 for the transmission. That's six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's $11,000. Then they got the disc brake conversion on the back, $700. Then you got the disc brakes on the front from factory, $700. That's 1,400 right there. Then you got the switch suspension. That was $1,500 for parts. So you got $1,500 for the switch suspension, $1,500 for the brakes. That's $3,000. Then you got $3,000 for the rear, $3,000 for the transmission, five for the transmission. So you got, so here we go. Let's do this right quick. Right. So you got $3,000 for the rear end, $3,000 for the transmission, $5,000 for the engine. Now you still need headers, spark plug wire, starter, water pump, alternator. That's just the engine. That's just to build the engine. That's not the accessories for the engine. Then you got $1,500 for the brakes. Then you got $1,500 for the switch suspension. So that's 3,000. So that's 3, 6, 9. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's $14,000. We're not talking about shop labor. We're not talking about shop labor. We're just talking about parts. That's $15,000 in parts. In parts. That's right, Nathan. Now they got to get on there. They got to get on there. You got to get on there. Oh yeah. So that's $15,000 in parts. So when people say, "Man, it shouldn't cost that much," I look at them and say, "I don't talk about labor of love. If you're paying someone else to do all that, you're be talk about labor of love. If you're paying someone else to do all that, you'll be broke." Well, see, I'm not an influencer. I'm not a YouTube influencer. I'm a YouTube creator. I'm a business owner. This is my livelihood. This is what I do to support my family. I've been doing this for 25, 30 years. This is not new to me. I didn't wake up one day and say, "Ooh, I want to make a YouTube channel." That's not what this is. There's a lot of reasons why I got a YouTube channel. One, document everything. Two, so my family can go back and watch and see how stupid their daddy was or how smart he was, whichever. And it's actually to put information out there to help people, you know, to let people know and just to share my work. That's what I'm doing. But I'm not an influencer. I don't chase city trends every day. I don't change the narrative every day and say, "Well, I'm going to talk about this today," because I normally, this is a first, and this is a first, and this is probably going to be the last time and the only time I talk about money. I never talk about money on here. I never talk about religion, and I never talk about politics. Absolutely zero. I never talk about it because you got a cell phone in your hand and you can Google anything you want to Google on parts related prices. You can do it, right? But me and Cars, Nathan, Mac, we talked about this and I said, I'm going to do this. And then my buddies from Florida, we talked about it. It's like, yeah, this will be a good topic. This will be a good topic, right? This will be a good topic, right? This will be a good topic, right? So, oh no, 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 it wasn't me, JG. I didn't block you. We know who blocked you. They came out and admitted it who blocked you. It was Scoot. Scoot blocked you. Scoot blocked you, JG. Scoot blocked you. He admitted it to it. He admitted it on here and he texted me. And that's why I eliminated all the mods. They ain't but like 4 mods on here. Uh yep. Oh yeah, so we can't even talk. I'm not even gonna talk about labor rates. We're not even gonna talk about labor rates. And I normally don't talk about shop rates. I don't talk about money or nothing like that because everybody can look at it. What's up, Carolina? Everybody can look at it, right? You can look up stuff. I don't chase whatever. I don't change the narrative every day to chase to get likes, clicks, views, and stuff. Now, I have not been live in a while. I have not been live in a while, and I apologize for that. I used to go live every single day. I go an hour live twice a day, every day. But for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I just got so much going on that I just couldn't go live every day. I'm gonna try to do better. But I was posting shorts and stories and stuff like that. What's up, Carolina? Um, so, but that this whole live right here, I mean, we're doing good. We at 52 people and 37 likes. We're at 85 minutes right now. I usually go 60 minutes, but this whole thing, um, this whole thing was talk about, uh, yeah, Mac, we're blessed. You're blessed too, Mac. Um, I'll catch you later. I gotta go. We see what you doing, bro. It's all good. Do whatever you can do. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, I got a responsibility to you guys too. I mean, what's up, Roy? So, but like I said, it doesn't take long to spend $50,000 in parts. I mean, it literally don't. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, uh, it's just it's not heard of. It's oh, what's up, Mark? How's that project going? So you have, and I respect everything like the 72 F1 or the 72 C10. I respect that guy, and I give him the same work ethic that I give the F100. The same work ethic for the 61 box truck, the same work ethic for the 68 C10, the same work ethic for the 63 Impala. Now, I'm not happy with the 63 Impala. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, international farmer. I'm not happy. Um, what? I'm not happy with the 63 Impala. I'm waiting on Chance to do the air conditioner. But we're getting there. And see, that's something else you got to understand. Willie talked about it the other day in his live too, and there's other people that talked about it. But you have to be considerate of where your vehicle's at because there's a lot of moving parts that's involved. There's a lot of things that you're waiting on. Like right now, Monday, I'm going to have to call Solus Innovations and ask them when are we going to get the fuel tank for the F100. The client ordered it back in January, I think, end of January, and they said should get it by the 15th of April. Ordered it in January, going to get it in going to get it in April. He ordered the QA1 stuff before Christmas and didn't get it until Valentine's Day. Right? So I'm still waiting on the engine. The 427's coming. Aluminum heads, uh, fast carburetor system. Still waiting on the engine. Still waiting on the Tremec 5-speed. Got to get dry shafts made. Got to get brake lines made. Make brake lines. Got to get exhaust made. Um, he told me today that once I get my part done and it's ready, well, not done. Once he gets to that part, he's gonna make an appointment so I can take it to the take it to the end. He told me today that once I get it to the point where the exhaust needs to be run, going to take it and have the exhaust put on it. And it's getting 3-inch stainless exhaust, which I am super excited about that. Also, then you got to get it back and then I got to wire the whole thing up and then got to do this, got to get glass and rubber and inserts and gauge clusters. And there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of moving parts. So um, you have to put, um, if you were given advice on choosing a shop or on a project management, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, John Buchanan? Um, so there is a lot of moving parts. It's not like you're the only person in the universe. There is a lot of moving parts. Lot of moving parts. There is a lot of people involved. You got vendors involved. You got FedEx involved. You got UPS involved. You got everybody. You got third party vendors. You got everything's involved. Everybody. There is a lot of movement. It's not like everybody's in the same building. You not even everybody's in the same zip code. Some things ain't even in the same time zone. I mean, you got Solus Innovation that's out west. Well, if it's 8 o'clock here, it's not 8 o'clock there. You have to wait. So when it's 5 o'clock here, it's 2 o'clock in Cali. Well, if I'm trying to get a hold of somebody all day, if I'm trying to get a hold of somebody in California all day, it's 5 o'clock here. And then they try to call me back at 3 o'clock there. Guess what? It's 6 o'clock here. It's after business hours. So I've missed their phone call. So then you try to catch them. Damn, I missed their phone call because it's after business hours. And if you don't do boundaries, and try to be respectful to people, and in the past, I was guilty of this. In the past, I didn't have boundaries. And those boundaries cost. Those boundaries, people don't respect boundaries. People mistake friendship as they have ultimate access. Just because you know somebody or you know of somebody or you have been acquaintance with somebody, that doesn't mean you're friends. They're acquaintance, right? They're acquaintance. There's somebody that you know. Friends, a friend is somebody that you talk to on a regular basis, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. That's a friend. That's a friend. That's somebody that they talk to you all the time and they know good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. People that you do business with and your coworkers that you work with, they are acquaintance. They're acquaintance. So if you call somebody, let me put it to you like this. My phone number is public record. It's been public record since 1998, 99. I've had the same damn phone number since 1998, 97, 98, 99. I've had the same phone number. Same phone number, right? It's on everything. Shirts, hats, billboards, internet. It's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. People call me all the time. People text me all the time. All the time. Questions. Ask me this, ask me that, ask me this. Hey, this, that, whatever. And I don't answer the phone. I used to answer the phone after 5 o'clock. I used to answer the phone on the weekends. Yeah, bathroom stalls, wherever, man. Wherever. I used to answer the phone. And then it gets into your personal time. And then when you stop giving those people accesses that they had before, they get butt hurt. Now we're getting off topic, but on the business aspect of it, you can't call your doctor at 10 o'clock at night to make an appointment. You can't call Sir Pizza after closing hours and order a pizza. You can't go into Walmart after business hours and get damn ham and eggs and whatever. You can't do it. Well, you can, you're going to get arrested. You can't go into places after hours and expect services. So you have to give the same respect to other people. You have to give people the same respect. Yeah, the car culture out there is dear. Oh, so with that being said, if you call me after 5 o'clock or send me a text message after 5 o'clock, I'm not going to respond to you. I'm going to get it. I'm just not going to respond. Just not going to respond. I do that out of respect. Now, there is some times and some occasions um, that I have bent those rules, and I have reached out to people after business hours and conducted business. I had no other choice because there was something for whatever reason. That's bad. That's bad business by doing that because you open that door, right? You open that door. So you have to be common courtesy with people that have their own business, entrepreneurship, small business owners, and stuff like that. Just because you see them on Facebook posting, just because you see them on YouTube posting, just because you see them on TikTok posting, that doesn't say, "Oh hell, they're awake. I'm gonna call them." It don't work like that. Now, and it's just out of respect. Now, if somebody wants to call and they want to bullshit and they want to talk about whatever they want to talk about, that's fine. But as soon as you start talking business, so cut, stop. I don't send pictures after business hour. Oh no, 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 Yancey, Yancey. That I was just about to say that, Yancey. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I know people have to send messages. I know, and texting. No, 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 no. Don't take that the wrong way, Yancey. Don't take that the wrong way. I know people have to send text. I know they have to do it. My phone goes into do not disturb mode after 5 o'clock. I still get the message. I just don't reply back to it unless it's an emergency. Now, it's an emergency. It's an emergency. I reply back. But why are you calling me? You need to dial 911. I will call people back the next day. Right? I'm guilty of it too because I'll have something on my mind and I want to send a text out. Like, oh shit, I just thought of something. Let me send it. I can't do that. Take my handy dandy notebook and I write it in the notes. I write it in my notes. I write it in my notes. So I know the next day is like, oh, I need to text somebody. I need to text this person. I need to text this person. And then when people send me text messages, after 5 o'clock, I swipe them and I put a yellow flag on them to let me know, hey, I need to reply back to that person. And then I try to reply back to them and then do that. So don't take that the wrong way. Hey, 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 Yancey, don't feel bad. Cars will be texting me. Look, look, Cars is in California. It's a 3 hour difference. Cars will be texting me at 11 o'clock at night. 11, 12, 1, 2. 2 a.m., my damn phone will be going off. Cars will be sending me a message. Damn, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, cars will be sending me a message or asking me, or just, hey, man, he'll say, hey, man, I found out what you was asking me for. And cars will be texting me. Damn phone be over there and the light will come on. The light will come on. And I look over there. And then you know what I do to cars? I text that son of a gun at 7 o'clock in the morning. At 6 o'clock in the morning. I text cars at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning here, what is it? What is it? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. It's 3 a.m. in damn California. Yeah. So don't take that. Don't apologize, Yancey. It's okay. And you know the sad thing about it, cars ain't lying. His ass will reply back to me. If I text that joker at 7:30, if I text that joker at 6:30 in the morning, that son gonna text me right back. And I'll ask him, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I was eating me I was drinking me a cup of coffee or something. I don't think he drinks coffee, but he was like, I was up, I was doing this or I was doing that, or I thought about getting me a donut or something. I can't let y'all know too much on our secrets. But anyways, I didn't want to get sidetracked and we got sidetracked on this, but we at 99-minute mark. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I greatly appreciate it. So don't get worried about When somebody tells you, hey, look, this is what it's going to be, and you get all bent out of shape, you can have, you can do, I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this right here. Right. I'm going to show you this right here. This is a daily driver. This is not a SEMA build. This is not a Apex build. This is not a concourse build. This is none of that. This is a daily driver on a 1972 C10. This is $700 in brakes. $700. Everything on the front of this was bought at the parts store other than this drop spindle. The rotors, the bearings, the lower ball joints, the upper ball joints, and the brake hoses for both sides. 2 calipers, 2 rotors, 4 bearings, brake pads. You see all that stuff? That's new. Every bit of this and every bit of that was $700. So you got $700 in the front brakes and $700 in the back brakes. This is a 1972 C10. He's going to drive this thing. It's just a daily driver. It's nothing special. That's $1,500 in brakes. This right here needs to be replaced. This had dirt daubers and stuff in it. This is $300. The outer tie rod ends, all this steering linkage needs to be replaced. The tie rod ends, the drag link, the pitman arm, every bit of that needs to be replaced. That's $500-$600. This right here, a good one with the tight ratio bend, and you got to have a core. There's that word again, core. That's $300 and some for this. And then you got all this. You're going to spend another $500-$700 just for the front steering system. So let's just say 7, 7, that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's $2,100 just in the steering and in the brakes. And then you want to look at me and say, man, it shouldn't cost that much. Well, take your happy Play-Doh eating ass to the damn store and buy it your damn self. And then come back and talk to me about it. Then you got all your brake lines. Look at all these brake lines. Every one of them brake lines. Now, I'm not beating up the client. I'm just telling you guys, y'all have to be realistic with yourself and stop playing with yourself and be realistic. Yeah, that's to cool it down. That's the cooling fins. All this stuff has to be replaced. All the brake lines, all the fuel lines, the Mercy brake cable. Look, this stuff ain't no good. None of it. None of it's no good. It's junk. It's been setting. It's junk. Look, body bushings. Look at them body bushings. Look at that. That has to be replaced. All that. So stop beating up your shop owners and stop beating up and thinking they're making a fortune on you. They're not. This shit costs money, man. And then I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I love it. 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 It's my passion. I do it every day. It's my passion. Yeah, Mac, the little stuff they don't even think about, Mac. The clips. Doesn't take long to run a Hey, what's up, Craig? Hey, Craig. Craig. Yeah, plus the little clips. Craig, where you at, guy? I got to show you something. Craig, you in here, Bubba? It doesn't. Craig. Here, let me clean the lens for you. Craig. It doesn't take long to add up super fast. It does not take long to add up super fast. Stop beating up. Stop beating up. Stop beating up your shop owners and you think they're making a fortune. Yeah, Craig. Craig, look, Craig. Craig, what you got on my 40, dog? What you got on my 40, dog? What you got on my 40, dog? It does not take long. It does not take long to to add. These things weigh 2 pounds, Craig. 2 pounds. 2 pounds. Stop beating up your shop owners. Stop being a prick. Stop being what you are, because these is big boy shit. This is a luxury that I want. This right here is a luxury of what this client wants. A luxury. This is a budget what the client needs to stop and go. This kit right here for the rear of that 12 bolt was $700. This was aerospace for that F100. Look them up, aerospace components. You can look it up and see how much this stuff costs. These right here weigh 2 pounds. That's what that weighs. 2 pounds. So stop beating up your shop owners and say, well, I can do it cheaper. Okay, do it cheaper. You still got to buy the parts. You still got to buy the parts. You still got to buy the parts. You ain't going to do it no cheaper because you don't know what you're doing. You couldn't whoop your ass out of a wet sack if you tore a hole in the bottom of it. Hey, assassin. It was the same price. It was $700 and some to rebuild the drum brakes on that 12 bolt. It was $700 to buy the rebuild kit to redo the drum brakes on that 12 bolt, or buy a disc brake conversion for $700. But will you admit shop owners are what? Yeah, Nelson. I mean, you got to put it on. Hey, look. So yeah, yeah. You know why they that way, Roy? Because they get tired of messing with the public. That's the way they're that way, because they get tired of messing with the public. They get tired of the public trying to come in and tell them what they're going to do, what you're going to do, how much I'm going to pay, how much I'm going to pay this much, and I expect this much in return. You know, they so they that's why shop owners, I mean, the dealership is 100. The Chevrolet place is $195 an hour. I meant to say some shops are bullshit. Hey, well, I mean, there's some people say that I'm bullshit. So I mean, I don't care what people say. I mean, you can see what I do. The proof's in the pudding. You see where I'm at. You see what I do. People's going to say what they're going to say. People going to talk what they want to talk. People's going to feel the way they want to feel about you regardless. I mean, am I an asshole sometimes? Absolutely. 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 I own every bit of that. Yep, absolutely. Sure enough. Sure enough. I'm gonna start giving the same energy that I give. So let me so yes, sir, we all show because we show real like or not. So let me tell you this right here. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me hold on. Let me catch up. We just what did he say? Seen it with my own two eyes. Nothing go. Stock car steal. Stock car steal. Stock car steal. Stock car steal. You get that? Stock car steal. Yes, sir. No problem. So let me tell you this right here, and I'm gonna kind of add on to what what Roy said. Roy meant to say some shops are bullshit, right? So let me say this to you, and we'll just keep going. If this live's gonna keep going, we're gonna keep going. I know we're getting off topic, but this is still about the $50,000 is nothing on parts. So um, a while back, a guy came to me, and this guy came to me, and he had a 65, 66 Mustang, right? And he seen the blue 65 Mustang that I done, the blue 66, the Bahama blue one that I done a few years ago. Super cool car, real fun. It was a lot of metal work. Really had a good time doing that car. Car turned out super awesome, right? The guy seen that car and he's like, man, I want my car just like that. It's like, okay, cool, not a problem. Now, we're not going to talk money on this vehicle. We're just going to talk about the story, right? Right. So, with that being said, so he said he had a 65, 66 Mustang, said it was a four-lug car. He wanted to convert it to a five-lug car. It was a straight six car. He wanted to convert it to a V8 car. It was three on the tree. He wanted to put a four-speed or five-speed in it. Had a 4 bolt rear end. He wanted to go to a 5 bolt 9 inch, right? So it was a 4 cylinder car, four lugs. He wanted to convert everything to a five lug. He wanted to run a V8. He wanted to run a 5 speed. And he wanted a 9 inch. That's the first major hurdle, right? So it was a 4 cylinder car. The car needed quarters, trunk pan, floor pan, dash pad, or it needed a core support. It needed front fenders. It needed the cowl pan underneath the windshield wiper. It needed toe boards, floorboards. Needed trunk pan. It needed both quarters and a trunk pan. Needed all that. Needed all that metal work and the torque boxes. Right. Needed all that. And I'm like, woo. I said, all right. I said, you need all that stuff. I said, yep. So I said, well, man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You can buy 65, 66 Mustangs a dime a dozen. You probably better off buying you'd be better off finding a V8 car, a car that's already been converted over to a car that's already a V8 car, five lug car. All that stuff's different. You might want to, no, I got this car at a pretty good deal. And he told me the money that he paid for the car. I didn't think it was a pretty good deal because he needed everything. So he wanted to know how many hours it would take to fix everything. So I give him an hour. So a lot of people will say, well, man, you got to write me an estimate. Well, a frog bumps his ass when he hops too, and he probably don't want to bump it. There's no way in this world, in the restoration world, that you can write an estimate on an old car. There's no way. This world does not align with collision. I don't care who wraps it up. I don't care who's watching this. If there's somebody particular watching this, you are batshit stupid. There's no way. If you don't believe me, reach up. If you don't believe me, go to Restoration by Sabrina. He's got lots of seminars to tell you. It's hours. 1,000 hours, 1,500 hours, 2,000 hours, 3,000 hours, 4,000 hours, 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours. You can't. There is no way I can literally sit down and write an estimate on everything that you're going to need on an old school because you don't know what it is. It's like peeling an onion back. The more I peel back, you're going to cry. And anybody out there that thinks, well, you're required to write an estimate, says who? You can't set, if I'm going to sit down and write an estimate, you're going to pay thousands of dollars for me to sit down and write an estimate. Thousands. Because there's no way that you can write everything on a vehicle. Nothing. None whatsoever. So back to this Mustang. So I give him a quote, a rough quote on getting just the metal work done. Just the metal work. No body work, no paint work, nothing. Just the metal work. That's getting all the him buying all the metal panels, taking out all the taking out all the rust panels and putting in the new panels. That's it. That's all. No fitment, no nothing. That's just replacing panels and doing the metalwork. Give him a price. Man, that's too much. Okay. Well, I'm at the bare minimum of what the rates are in North Carolina. You got the starting point, the midpoint, and the high point. I'm at the bottom for restoration. My hourly rate is here. The industrial standard is here. And the big shops that have a lot of overhead are here in North Carolina. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. I should be right here. I could be right here, but I'm right here. So what does he do? He goes to another shop, talks to that shop, takes the estimate that I take, and they tell him that it shouldn't cost that much. That I should only be charging this much for the 65 Mustang. Quarters. Oh yeah, quarters, wheel tub, trunk pan, floor pans, toe board, and the cowl, the part of the firewall. New fenders, new hood, new deck lid, everything, right? So this other shop that he took it to, they told him that I shouldn't charge that much. It shouldn't cost that much. This is how much it cost. So they wrote an estimate, and then he brought that estimate to me and says, this is what this shop 40 miles south of you said that you should charge. Then why ain't that shop doing it? Yeah, Rock fan. I told him he needed to buy another car. I said, you need to go find, and it was a 4-cylinder, 4-lug car, and he wanted to convert it over to a 5-lug car. I told him, you need to go find another car. No, I want to fix that one. Well, my question was, did you make your babies in the back seat? No, I bought it from my buddy. My buddy gave me a good deal. Yeah, your buddy give you a good deal, all right. Did he play the song from Ice Cube, No Vaseline, as he was taking your money and you was signing the title? Mm-mm. Yeah, let them do it. Let them do it. All right. So it gets even better. You can't make this up. And I got the text messages. And you know how I can prove it? Ask Cars in the Cut. Ask Cars in the Cut. I video recorded the text messages from 2 years ago from this guy. And I sent him the cars today. Right? He had a little My Pony is what he had. Right? He had a little My Pony. Right? So with that being said, so he calls me and says, hey, what if I cut all the rust stuff out? What's up, Mike? What if I cut all the rust panels out? How much would it cost me? What? I'm telling you, this answers your question, Roy. This is what answered your question, Roy. So I said to him, I said, you want to do what? And I got the text messages. Ask Cars in the Cut. Cars in the Cut. Cars in the Cut. He's seen the messages. Cars in the Cut seen the messages. I said, you're going to cut the rust out. Yeah, how much would it cost me if I cut the rust out? I said, how are you going to cut the rust out? Roy is Elko. What? Lord have damn mercy. Receipts all day, every day. Yeah, I showed him the cars. I said, you're going to cut the rust out. Yeah, how much would it cost me if I cut the rust out? I said, how are you going to cut the rust out? He said, well, I can get a cutoff wheel and stuff, and I can cut the rust out. How much would that cost me? What's up, Mike? I'm going, that ain't going to work. And he said, I said, that ain't going to work. And he said, what do you mean it ain't going to work? I said, you can't cut the rust out. He said, why can't I cut the rust out? I said, well, I mean, you can, but you can't. He's like, well, can you give me a price on it? I said, no, no, absolutely not. Oh, it gets even better. Gets even better. I said, you can't cut the rust out of a 65, 66 Mustang because it's a unibody car. It has to be on a floor. It has to be level, plumb, and square. It has to be braced up. You have to build an exoskeleton on the inside. Before you start, you have to adjust the doors. You have to get the doors adjusted to the quarters before you cut anything. You have to preset everything before you cut anything loose. You have to set the doors to the quarters. And once you get, and you can't set them with old hinges, you need new door hinges. That's 70 some dollars. Wow, the doors are pretty good. No, you need to buy new door hinges. And you got to figure out which door hinges you have. Some 66 and 65 Mustangs had 3/8 3/8 flanges. Some had 5/16. They were different. I got one car one year. One side was one side was other. It was crazy. I said, you cannot start cutting stuff apart. And the car has to be level and plumb before you start doing this stuff. Okay, okay. I was like, yeah. So if you want to do this, let's talk about it. Sign some paperwork, get the car here, get it leveled up, and start evaluating the situation. Start cutting panels loose, and then go from there. Oh, it gets even better. Slam fest. It gets even better. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, boys and girls. Not only did he cut the panels loose, he bought a rotisserie and put the car on a rotisserie and cut panels loose. He cut the quarters off. He cut the quarters off. He cut parts of the floor pans out. He cut he cut parts of the trunk pan out. He took the front end off of it. Yeah. Yeah, he needed everything. Yeah, he needed everything. Then he sends me pictures and said, hey man, I got all the rust cut out and I got it on a rotisserie for you. Right hand to Jesus. I promise you. Like I said, I showed cars today the receipts. I showed John the text message. The car was on the rotisserie like this, right? So here's the door. They did have the doors on it now, and thank God they had the doors on it. The car was on the rotisserie like this. The door gaps at the top of the doors were touching. The door gaps at the bottom, you could see daylight through them, and it was on a rotisserie. They had it set like this, and to make it even worse, they rolled it over like this and took pictures and sent it to me with the bottom of the damn thing with the floors. The daggone torque boxes on the front was kicked up so high, they had a 2x4 stuck in the floor underneath the rocker to hold the daggone torque box arms up. So they run a 2x4 underneath the rockers to hold the torque box arms where the bolt goes, had it kicked up like that right there. You cannot make this shit up, Nelson. I promise you. I got the pictures. It gets even better. I told him he was crazy. It wasn't even worth $1, John. I'd buy the rotisserie and throw the car away. What did Eazy-E say? Don't worry about it. Wreck the 63 in the gutter. Don't worry about it. Go buy another. This is a grown man, man. He's like in his 50s, early 60s. I said, I'm not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested. He gets mad at me. Says, "Well, you said you did." No, I didn't. Go back through all my text messages. There is not one time that JG said do that. Not one time. Now, it gets even better. So he takes it somewhere and finds some poor soul that took his money and they put the panels on the car. They put the panels on the car. They put them on it. That's all they did. Then he took the car to a shop that I know. Now, when I seen the car at this guy's shop, which is local, this 65, 66 Mustang, I seen the car and I seen him working on the car. But I didn't realize that it was that car because now it's all in brand new body panels. And this guy was hired to gap all the panels, get all the panels where they needed to be, and finish welding up and do all the metal, do the welding work, do the grinding work, and do all that, right? I knew the guy that was working on the car, and we had talked, here and there, whatever. We used to talk all the time on the phone. He's probably watching this. I don't know. He probably won't watch it, but if I knew that this car was the car, I would have called him and said, "Hey, bro, run, run, run like Forrest Gump. Run, run, run as fast as you can run." But I didn't know that that was that car. So this guy, him and his son, they did the metal work. They finished the metal work. They welded everything up. They grinded everything. They gapped it the best they could gap it. They actually did a really good job considering that they probably never seen this joker on the rotisserie like this. So they actually did a really good job. Now, they fought like crazy trying to get stuff to line up, like the fenders wouldn't line up to the core support, this wouldn't line up, and they cut and spliced and fixed and welded. And the reason why nothing fit is because 2 months before that, the guy that owned the car put it on the rotisserie, cut it apart, and it looked like a daggone pretzel at the state fair that didn't grow right. They took it to some other shop. They put it half-assed together like the damn goof troop. Then the guy that I know that owns a shop here locally, he ended up with the car, and I'm pretty sure the guy didn't tell this guy that I know the whole story. And if I'd have known that that was the car, I would have called him, even though we don't talk no more. I would have called him and said, "Hey, bro, let me tell you something. You need to run. You I know we don't talk no more. I know you're mad at me. I know you got sand in your panties. I know you got sand in your crotch and you don't talk to me no more because you got a case of the MPH and your feelings are hurt. But look, I'm looking out for you. Man, you need to run." I would have called and I told him. I would have told him. I'd have said, "Run. Tell that man to come get that car." But I didn't know that that was the car until the end. I did not know that that was the car until the end. Now, I ain't going to tell you how I found out that that car was the car, but I found out that that car was the car. Now, when my guy that I know finished the body work finished the metal work, the guy that had the car, him and his son told the owner of that car, "Hey, look, we're done. We've done what you've asked us to do. We've gapped everything. We've got everything fixed. We had to cut stuff loose. I think they had to cut the quarter loose and fix. There was a lot of stuff they had to fix, and they got it very decent." The guy says, "Can you go ahead and paint my car? What color you want it? Black?" "Absolutely not." "No, absolutely not." So the guy at the shop, him and his son that fixed everything, that another shop had put everything together, they said, "No, we can't do it right now. We don't have the time, blah, blah, blah." The guy didn't want to wait. He took it to another shop. Took it to another shop. So I was the first shop. He cut it apart. Let's recap. I was the first shop, but I never got the car because they butchered it on a rotisserie and I wasn't even going to touch it. They took it to some other shop. That shop put the metal panels on it, and Lord knows I don't know how they got it, but they got them on there. They made it back a roller, right? Then took it to the guy that I know, him and his son fixed the panels and got everything where they needed to be. Then they wouldn't paint it and do the body work because it was just a nightmare, because they realized what they got into. And if I'd have known that the car was what the car was, I'd have called and said, dude, run. Then the guy took the car to another shop and they done the paint and the body work. It ain't over. They done the paint and the body work. Then I realized the guy and his son, their YouTube channel popped up on my news feed. They popped up today or yesterday. Today popped up. It popped up. Just, you know how YouTube just randomly plays videos, right? It popped up. And I'm sitting there looking, and he's talking about the Mustang. He said, y'all remember the Mustang that we done the metal work about X amount of months ago, and we didn't want it. We told the guy we couldn't paint it, and blase, blase, and blase. Well, the guy has brought the car back. The car is running and driving. He brought the car back. I take it the car's running and driving. He brought the car back to the the man and son shop that done the metal work the second time after, and said, hey, I need you. Now, I don't know exactly what the conversation was. He just said in a YouTube video, the guy brought the car back and wanted him to adjust the doors, the hood, the fenders, and the hood, the deck lid, and the fenders. The guy, the man, and the guy that owns the shop, I want to say the shop's name so bad I can't stand it. They do good work. They do good work. Him and his son, the guy that owns the shop, told the guy, says, no, we're not interested. We're not interested to fixing the doors and stuff. I don't know what transpired, but I'm pretty sure I can take a hypothesis. He probably said, well, you did the metal work and you set the doors. The body man said they just did the body work, said you need to take it back to the shop that done the metal work and fix the doors and set the doors and have them reset the doors. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that I'm doing an educated hypothesis. That's probably what happened. Since he done the metal work after the fact and set the doors and got it in a good situation, and it left and it went to another body shop, that body shop didn't do any body, they didn't do any gap work, they didn't do any door, anything, right? Oh yeah, I give that option too, Vinny. They didn't do any of that. I'm pretty sure they just probably sprayed some epoxy on it, skimmed a little filler on it, blocked it, painted it, and sent it. That's probably what they did. And then when the guy come pick the car up and said, hey, why ain't my gaps ain't fitting right and this, that, whatever, they probably said, so they probably said, take it back to the guy that done the door work, the gap work, and have them fix the doors because they're responsible. So they put it off on my guy, him and his son's shop, to go and fix the door gaps and the hood gaps. When they originally didn't even do the metal work, they were playing catch up from the other shop that done the metal work. So they're playing like the fourth hitter on baseball, right? So that's probably what happened. Well, what my guy, him and his son said, well, the guy that owns the shop, I'm just gonna say B. B told the guy that owned the Mustang, I'm not interested. We're not interested to try to set the gaps or anything now. We're not interested because we're not going to be liable if we chip the paint, because if we chip the paint, then we're going to have to fix it. And we're not opening ourselves up to that. That's what he said on his YouTube video. Then the guy told B, because B said it in his YouTube video, well, I want you to repaint it anyway. It's like, why do you want to repaint it? You just got it painted. I'm not happy with it. It doesn't look right. I don't like it. It's not right. And I can imagine what it looks like. It probably looks like a golf ball. So, so what did I do? What did I do? Oh yeah. What did I do? I text the guy that owns the car because I got his number in my phone. I still got our text thread from 2 years ago. I text him because I told him in the beginning when he says, I'm just going to take it to another shop. He said, well, I'm just going to do it myself. I said, well, do me a favor. Get you a notebook and write down all your hours that you work on your vehicle and all the money you spent you doing it and write it in a notebook. And when you get your car done, you let me know how many hours that you have invested and how much money, and let me know if you're satisfied with the product and the outcome of it, and see if you saved yourself any money. That's where I was going with this. So what did I do today? I texted him. I said, hey man, I hope you're well. Happy Easter. But the word on the street is you got your car done and it's painted. The word on the street is you're not happy with the paint job. The word on the street is you're not happy with the body work. You're not happy with the outcome. And now you're looking to get it repainted and rebody worked. That's very unfortunate. Then I said, how many shops did you actually take it to get the results that you got? How much money did you spend and how many hours did you have in it? I know of 4 shops that you took it to. Did you save any money by nickel and diming all the shops to death to get what you wanted to get? And then at the end of the day, you're not happy with what you have because you nickeled and dimed and you poor mouthed everybody to death. And now you're not happy with it. But did you keep up with the notebook and how much money you spent and the hours you got in it? I'd be curious on to see the end results versus what the quote that I quoted you, because I know what it cost to do the 65 Mustang that I did. And did I just take the picture from the 65 Mustang, the blue one that I did, and send it to him in a text message? Absolutely. I said, because this car right here, it costs this much money. I'd like to know how much money you got in your car. Even though you shopped around the different budgets or different shops. Now, my guy that owned the guy B, his shop, if he would have took it to his shop in the beginning as well, before they butchered it and cut all the metal out of it, it would have been nice. If he would have brought it to me and let me do it before they butchered it and cut it would have been nice. It would have been nice. Because the guy that I'm talking about, I'm not going to say his name, but his name starts with a B. If they'd have took it to his shop, it would have been a nice car. It would have been a nice car. They do nice work. They do nice work. Absolutely. I give credit where credit's due. It's nice. They do nice work. We just had some bad situation. I don't know. We had an incident in the past, and I really don't know what happened. And they never would tell me what happened. The only thing they would say is, "I'm not getting into it." And I don't understand how a grown ass man can't be a grown ass man and nut up and tighten his bootstraps and say, hey man, I got a problem and this is my problem. And just say the problem other than being, I'm sorry, a candy ass, Play-Doh eating son of a gun, and not say, hey, look, here's the problem. You know, if I got a problem with you, I'm going to say, I got a problem with you. And let's handle it and see if we can come to terms with it. If we can't come to terms with it, then we go our separate ways. We go our separate ways. But don't look at me and say, man, I'm not going to be able to do this. And I'm like, why? I thought we was going to do this. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. Why? I just don't want to get into it. What do you mean you don't want to get into it? I just don't want to get into it. Well, you got to get into it. What's the problem? I just don't want to get into it. To me, to me, I'm going to be ruthless. That's a bitch ass move. Hey man, I got a problem. Yeah, I know you got a problem. We're gonna start calling you Eileen. Eileen. We're gonna start calling Carolina Big Eileen. Yeah, that's right, Nelson. Just that's right, Nelson. Oh yeah. Yeah, people can't handle conflict. Hey, look, if you got a problem, just say, hey man, Be a man about. Last time I checked, yep, I still got them. I still got them. I still got them. I still got them. We got a problem. Let's see if we can handle it. So I'm pretty sure that the guy with the 65, 66 Mustang, I'm pretty sure he's got either equal to or greater to what I quoted him in doing his car. Plus, he moved around to multiple shops. And he's still not happy with it. Now, have I done everything perfect in my life? Absolutely not. Have I done stuff that didn't come out like I wanted it to? Absolutely. Did I try to make it right? Absolutely. Did some people become unruly and didn't want to work with it? Absolutely. You know, and some people out there are just looking for a free lunch. Some people out there are just some people out there are just looking to cause trouble to do whatever they need to do so they can get a free paycheck and a free lunch. There's people that are so conniving and so the way they go to places, places to eat, and they go in there with all intentions and the malice of going in there. I'm going to do this so I can get this for free. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's people that do that. Absolutely. Hey, rust is like horses. Hey, did you know horses? The original definition of horses was horse. It's a horse because everybody knows it's a horse. That was the original definition of horse before we started making everything complicated. So, boys and girls, been on here for 141 minutes. The whole objective for this was it doesn't take $50,000 to spend in a restoration on parts alone. I mean, just right here and these line items right here, that's $15,672 just in parts. And that's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. That's 8 items. It doesn't, it doesn't, it doesn't take long to add up. So here, the one last advice I'll give you. Don't ask another man. Don't ask another man how much he paid for something. That's right, Reaper John. Don't ask another man how much he paid for something. Like tomorrow, John Buchanan's Auto Sale has sponsored a lowrider show in Pittsburgh, old school. So it's gonna be like L.A. It's gonna be like Compton. It's gonna be like the West Coast at Pittsburgh tomorrow at the Ag Center. They're gonna be bouncing cars. They're gonna be doing there. It's gonna be lowriders. It's gonna be Dayton wire wheels. It's gonna be crazy hydraulic pump setups. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be just like the Valley. It's gonna be like crazy. And I told John I'd come and support him tomorrow. Um, so I don't know. We can do it we can do it a Friday thing or whatever. Um, so um, don't ask another man how much he spent for something. You have a cell phone in your hand that's connected to the internet. You can Google anything. You can ask Siri. You can ask. iPhones have an AI software that you can ask. Right? You can ask. I'll try to go live tomorrow, but I know the Wi-Fi service over there is pretty shoddy. But I'll do a lot of shorts and a lot of videos. I'll probably do a video and then just do like a premiere. But don't ask, like I said, don't ask the man, how much you pay for, and see, you probably won't ever hear me talk about money or parts ever again. I don't talk about money, I don't talk about religion, and I don't talk about politics on this channel. I'm not an influencer. I'm a business owner. I tried to put information out there to show you how to do things right. Just for example, the video I did with the cotter key, Cotter, the cotter key, how to install a cotter key. the cotter key the right way, and a castle nut. It's got almost 300,000 views. It's got 2,600 comments. It's got like 3,000 shares and like 1,100 thumbs ups. It's almost got a 500,000 views on that. And people's like, man, I didn't even know. I didn't even know that's how you're supposed to install a Carter key. There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. There is a lot of people on YouTube that are YouTube influencers that changes their scenario, changes their character, change their mask every single day to fit the narrative to get likes, shares, comments, and subscribers. That's what they do. That's what they do. That is their job. That's what they do. That's what they do. I enjoy the subscribers. I enjoy the thumbs up. I enjoy the watch hours. We're right at 10,000. I think we need, I don't know, 80 more people to hit 10,000. Um, I think we need like 80 more people to hit 10,000. You know, um, once we hit it, we hit it, and I'll be thankful for it. It's not a foot race with anybody. It's not a rabbit race. It's not a snail race. Um, it's not. Um, it is what it is. Um, well, I'll show you. Hey, Slate. Hey, it's on YouTube, it's on TikTok, and it's on Facebook. So I'll show you right here. I'll show you. We'll end this live right here, and I'll show you. I'm gonna show you right here. This is how, and it's on AV Chapter 43, Section 13, line item B. Right here. That is not me, stupid. Right here. Right here. See that right there? That is how you install. Right there is how you install a Carter pin. Right? You stick the Carter pin in, you run it all the way through, you take the end of it right there, right? Right? You take the end of it, you fold it down, right? You fold it down, you fold the Carter key down, then you take the other tail and you fold it up over. Some people cut it halfway and stop halfway of the nut. I take it all the way across because that's what the instruction says, and then you fold it over like that right there. That is how. Now this right here is going to rust because it's cast, but that is how I install all my Carter pins like that right there. It doesn't take no more. It don't take no more longer to do it that way than it takes to do it the other way. And right there you can see. Look, you go through. Look, you go through, you come like this, you fold it down, you come up, you fold it over, and you go like that. Right? That's how I do it right there. So the article is AV 43 or AV chapter 43, section 13, line B. That's the instructions. And that's how I do all of them. I do all of, I need to fold that one. I need to fold that one down just a little bit more. But that is how that video right there has almost got a 500,000 views. So, and Carter pins are not reusable. So when you take a Carter pin out, you throw it in the trash and you put a new one in. A penny nail is not a penny. A nail is used for carpenter work. It's not used for. It's not used. And so that's that. So, boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Make sure you drop a comment if you do, because if you subscribe and you don't drop a comment, what happens is YouTube will purge you in 24 hours as a bot, and you don't want that to happen. So I appreciate every single one of you, boys and girls. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And remember what I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road. Don't worry about the man down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first at Lucy and Drive. Peace, 7 chicken grace. I'm out.